So we've come to the end of our personal finance game, and now it's time to file our taxes. So we're going to have to go back to some of our older homework assignments in order to find out all this information. So where we want to start first is pick and record our EIN number. Now the assignment that we looked at yesterday, reading a pay stub, we had to find out what an EIN number was. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this document here. And then all we're doing is writing our name next to an EIN number. And then the number that you put in there will now become your employer number. Okay, so this is my number here. So I'm going to cut and paste this or copy this right now. So then once I have this, I now will move over to the retirement. We need to go to our tax return. And in our tax return, this is where we need to look up how much taxes we paid throughout the entire year. So we're doing the tax return based on, okay, this is you paid taxes throughout the entire year, and now we need to see how much it's accumulated over time. So after we get our EIN number, we'll come to this W-2 form. We're going to paste it into here, and now we can officially do our taxes. So let's figure out first how much taxes have been taken out per week. Now we did this when we did our 45-day review. And when we did our 45-day review, there was a document on there that gave us our information for our federal income, Social Security, Medicare, and Minnesota tax. So if we went back to that one right now, it was posted on April 15th. We could go back, see if we can find it here, and here it is. So what would you be looking for once you get to this one? You would be going to your account, and you're pulling up your pay stub that looks like this. And in the pay stub, it's going to have your federal, FICA, Medicare, and Minnesota taxes. So these numbers here is what we're going to put into our tax return. So the federal income tax that we're paying per paycheck was $191.22. Social Security was $75.10. Medicare was $17.56. And the Minnesota tax is $68.63. Now, if you notice on the pay stub, it said FICA for $75.10 for our tax return. We're going to call that Social Security. Okay? So these amounts are the amounts that come out of your paycheck each week. So now what we're going to do with this information, we are now going to put this information into your annual form. So let's say my annual income is $44,658.64. Okay, so that's what goes in box 1. This is your gross income. This is the income before taxes are taken out. So if you're to go get a job somewhere, they'd be like, we want to offer you $45,000 a year. That amount would be considered your gross income. All right, so box 2, we need to figure out how much taxes you've been paying in federal income tax throughout the entire year. So we're going to take our $191.22 times 52 weeks, because you get paid every week, times 52. And it would be $9,943.44. So we would now change that to this amount here. Box 3, annual income. This would remain the same. Social Security tax withheld. Same thing again. We're going to take our Social Security times 52, and we would get $3,905.20. Annual income again still stays the same because that's not changing. Medicare, multiply 1756 by 52. We get $913.12. And then full name and address, you can put your name in there. And whatever apartment complex you decided to go with, you can write that in there. If you can't remember it, you can just write apartment underneath it. We have our EIN number, which we had from that document when we began, and then the state income tax. Minnesota tax, 6862 times 12, and we would get an answer of $3,568.76. Okay, so that is the amount of taxes you've been paying. We can add some other deductions that we could also deduct for our tax return. So donations. Donations would be considered your tithe. So a best place to find what you've been paying each month on your tithe is to go to your check register, and whatever that amount might be times 12. So let's say, for sake of example, that you've been paying $100 in tithe each month, times that by 12, you're at $1,200, which we can deduct. The next one is interest paid from student loans. When we started this semester, we looked at how much college debt you would have to pay at the end of 4 years. So you're going to have to go back to Google Classroom, scroll pretty much all the way down to when we started the class, and look to see how much it is. So on this document here, this is the college worksheet. There was a box here called total interest paid. So for this example, $43,284.53 is how much interest I would be paying on the student loans for a 30-year. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this amount here and we're going to divide that by 30. And the reason, again, it's 30 is because the loan is 30 years. So by dividing it by 30, $1,442.81 would be the amount of interest we're paying each year towards this loan. So let's go back here to tax return. Let's get rid of this. Let's do $1,442.81. All right, contribution to IRA. This is your retirement check. Again, check your check register, what you've been paying per month. This is the amount that you're paying per month. So if you go back, if you can't find it, go back to the retirement doc that we did. Find out how much you've been paying per month, and then you're going to take this amount and you're going to multiply it by 12. And when you multiply this amount by 12, the 151 10 cents times 12, which would be $1,813.12. Or 20 cents. So contribution to IRA, that is the amount that you've been putting away for retirement for this year. So medical and dental expenses. This is, on Google Classroom, this is the assignment, what do I owe? This is where we did the spreadsheet and the drawing and the random numbers, and you were supposed to highlight the 3 that you're responsible to pay. So for health insurance, $450 is what I had to pay. Dental insurance was $185, and car insurance was $245. So what we need to do is we need to add up all 3 of these, and we can actually write this off as a medical and dental expense. So when we add up all 3 of those, we would get $880. All right, so now we have all our other deductions. We know our taxes taken out. Now it's time to actually file our taxes. So we're going to go back to the assignment, and there's a calculator that's attached. And this one is just an estimator of what we'd have to owe, or we get a return or refund on our taxes. So let's take a look at this. So for our game, you were single. You're not head of household. You don't have any kids or grandparents living with you. You're obviously not a qualified widower. How old are you? We're going to say that this is 4 years after high school, so you just graduated, so you'd probably be age 22. You have no dependents. A dependent would be someone that relies on you financially. Since you're living by yourself, it would be no. If you have a roommate, it would still be no, because they're not dependent on you. So this is where we'd start. Your taxable wages. This amount would be found in your tax return. So taxable federal income, your annual income of $4,464 4,658. 64 is what we put in there. So 4,658 and 64 cents. Your net business income. You do not own a business, so that stays at 0. Your federal taxes withheld and estimated payments. So this is your federal taxes. So that amount would end up being $9,943.44. Interest income. This would be any interest that is gained from your investments. Since we did not claim any of that, it's 0. Unemployment, you're not unemployed, so that is also 0. Deductions. Did you have an IRA contribution? Yes, you did. Are you covered under a retirement plan? Yes, this is your retirement check. So if we go back to the tax return again, and we scroll down to contribution to IRA, we would take this $1,800 and we would put it into here. Amount of student loan interest. We also looked that up. Tax return, interest paid from student loans is $1,400. $4,281. Amount of medical and dental expenses. We also have that. It was $880. Right here. Amount of taxes paid. For that one, we're going to add up our Social Security, our Medicare, and our state tax. So when we add all those three together, we would get an amount of $8,387.08. Again, what we just added up right here, let's get rid of the 0, is we're adding up Social Security, Medicare, and Minnesota. These three totals here. So box number 4, number 6, and number 16, we'd add those three together, and that is how we got this amount here. Amount of mortgage interest paid, we didn't have a mortgage, so that'd be 0. Amount of charitable contributions, that would be your tithe. So donations is $1,200. All right. Then we go to next. We didn't have any child care. We didn't have any energy improvements. We're out of college, so we had no expenses and no miscellaneous. So we're ready for our results. So what we can see here, we actually get a refund of $5,960. So when you're doing this, if you have a refund in your check register, you can add this amount as a deposit. If it's in the red and you owe, you need to write a check for the amount that you owe and also deduct that amount from your check register. So what do you turn in? You're going to turn in this tax return that you filled out, and you're also going to take screenshots of the results showing me your summary, the refund, or what you owe, the calculation for all of this. So please make sure you take the proper screenshots for all of this.